Marty, closer, closer. Shoulder to shoulder. Good. All right, it goes like this. You gotta, I'm going to teach them the chorus first. It goes, you gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Put one foot in front of the other and lead. Let's try it again. You gotta put one foot in front of the other, but don't fall. Lead with love. One foot in front of the other and lead with love.
Don't give up hope.
Don't give up hope.
You're not alone.
You're not alone.
Don't you give up.
Don't you give up.
Keep moving on.
Keep moving on. You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. One foot in front of the other and lead with love. You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Put one foot in front of the other and lead with love.
Lift up your eyes.
Lift up your eyes.
Don't you despair.
Don't you despair.
Look up ahead.
Look up ahead.
The path is there.
The path is there. You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. One foot in front of the other and lead with love. You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. One foot in front of the other and lead with love.
I know you're scared.
I know you're scared.
And I'm scared too.
And I'm scared too.
But here I am.
But here I am.
Right next to you.
Right next to you. You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. One foot in front of the other and lead with love. You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Thank you.
Good morning.
Morning.
Is it on?
It will be.
Okay. Hi, my name is Joseph Hepburn. Oh, Hepburn.
Joseph Hepburn.
A lot of people ask me if I'm related to Katharine Hepburn and Audrey Hepburn, the movie stars. I said, I'm far from being a star, but I belong to church in Ocean Park, and there I'm regarded as a star. Yes, I'm still a star. So you are welcome here to this multi-faith community fellowship. You are welcome if you just came in from a political meeting, whichever side it is. You're welcome here at the church in Ocean Park. You're welcome if you missed Pride Month activities or if you are participating in some that are online. You're welcome if you don't have a job, never had a job, don't want a job, like the job that you're in, but still you want something different to do, and you're confused. Welcome to the church in Ocean Park for guidance and for help. You're welcome if you're a renter, landlord, or landlady, or both. We extend a special invitation to those who are single, married, divorced, gay, transgender, filthy rich, or dirt poor. We extend a special invitation to those who are just confused. And this week I was confused because Maureen was to leave last night on a flight, took her down. When she got down, came back home. When she got down, she missed the flight. I don't know how she missed the flight. But then she had to stay at the airport to wait for another flight. She went somewhere, came back to the airport, called me again. Early this morning, she forgot her phone in the taxi. So we had to try and contact the taxi, find out if they have the phone and all of that. I eventually got the taxi. Taxi came, went down with the taxi to the airport, looking for her for about an hour. She eventually left healthy and whole. Oh, so I feel so relaxed. Stay by that song. Yes, you are welcome to the church in Ocean Park. If you are confused, we extend a special invitation to those who are over 60 and not grown up, those who are teenagers who are growing up too fast, like the Gen Zs and the Gen Alphas growing up too fast. Yes, you are welcome to the church in Ocean Park. We offer a special invitation to those who could use a prayer right now. And we know that many people can use a prayer. From the political situation, from the present situation at home, we are in need of prayer. You're welcome here at the church in Ocean Park. And if you're happy and you know it, and you surely want to show it, you are welcome at the church in Ocean Park.
Thank you, Chaplain Joseph. Thank you so much. You are welcome at the church in Ocean Park. My name is Janet McKeithen, and I'm the minister here. I'm lucky to be the minister here at the church in Ocean Park. And we are multi-faith and many other things. And so if you hear something that you disagree with, know that your voice is just as important as whoever it was that just spoke. That they don't speak for all of us in totality. There's many things we do agree on and many things we don't. So don't assume that whoever is speaking here is speaking for the church in Ocean Park. This morning we're going to celebrate Lammas, and it's also the day of the celebration of the god of Lugh, and the god of Lugh is talking about craftsmanship and skill and warriorship. We're going to focus on the craftsmanship, and we're going to focus on Lammas on the bounty. Lammas is halfway between summer and fall. So this is the midway point. And so you'll hear more about that as we go along. But it's an important point of reflection this morning, and also of creativity. So you'll see a lot of creativity this morning. We're really, really happy about that. But we begin with an acknowledgement that we are currently sitting on stolen land. The land was taken violently from the Chumash, the Quiche, and the Tongva peoples. We acknowledge the harms of genocide, forced assimilation, enslavement, and destruction at the hands of U.S. settler colonialism. We also acknowledge that our communities and country was built on the backs of people stolen from Africa, placed into bondage, and forced into labor. We acknowledge that we benefit from that labor that has never been repaid. In our acknowledgement, let us commit ourselves to helping by creating a more just and equitable world through the struggle of changing how we do things that we see as normal, but actually are systemically hurting people. We begin with a Thich Nhat Hanh chant, I have arrived, I am home, in the here and in the now, 3 times. We're all carrying a lot of things together, so let's take a deep breath so we can actually be here now. And breathe out, because we have a lot of beautiful things that are going to happen. So let's chant the Thich Nhat Hanh chant. I have arrived. I am home in the here and in the now. I have arrived. I am home in the here Welcome to the church in Ocean Park.
I'm so happy that we're going to see Molly's craft. And in fact, I have a song about her craft. I don't want to ruin the surprise, but it's about quilting. I did, okay. So this song comes from, they wrote this song for a play called Plain Hearts, Songs and Stories of Midwestern Prairie Women. And so the first two verses are comprised entirely of the names of quilting patterns. Wonder if you might know these. We will see. Okay, got to tune up a little bit more. Written by a man named Eric Peltoniemi. Beggars' blocks and blind men's fancy, Boston corners and beacon lights, broken stars and buckeye blossoms blooming on the tree of life, quilted by the lantern's light, every stitch a leaf upon the tree of life. Stitch away, sisters, stitch away. You know, this is a singing church, so you have to sing now with me. So let's sing this. Tree of life, quilted by the lantern light. Tree of life, quilted by the lantern light. Every stitch, a leaf upon the tree of life. Stitch away, sisters, stitch away. Again, tree of life, quilted by the lantern light, every stitch a leaf upon the tree of life. Stitch away, sisters, stitch away. Hattie's choice and high hosanna, hills and valleys and heart's delight, hummingbird in honeysuckle, blooming on the tree of life, quilted by the lantern light. Every stitch a leaf upon the tree of life. Stitch away, sisters, stitch away. We're only known as someone's mother, as someone's daughter, as someone's wife, but with our hands and with our vision, we make the patterns of the tree of life, quilted by the lantern light, every stitch a leaf upon the tree of life. Stitch away, sisters, stitch away. Tree of life, quilted by the lantern light, every stitch a leaf upon the tree of life. Stitch away, sisters, stitch away. you.
Beautiful. This is an exciting day. We're about to have some sharing that we don't normally have, and I get excited about that. This is Lunatsad means the commemoration of Lugh, traces its roots back to ancient Ireland and the Celtic people. It was named in honor of Lugh, the Irish sun god, who was revered for his skills in many areas like craftsmanship, poetry, and warriorship. The festival served as a way to honor Lugh's divine presence and to express gratitude for the abundant harvest that sustained the community. During this season, people would come together to participate in various festivities. They often included athletic competitions, feasting, dancing, storytelling, and crafting intricate corn dollies. The festival was a time of joyous celebration, community bonding, and giving thanks for the blessings of the land. It serves us as a reminder to pause and reflect on the accomplishments and personal growth we've experienced thus far this year, and to express gratitude for the abundance in our lives. So we have some things that we're going to give thanks for today, and some expressions of creativity and our abundance. And the first, we're going to start with Louise. Louise Dobbs is going to share some things with us.
Okay.
And then Molly. Okay.
At the beginning of COVID, when we were all locked down, I felt I had to get a new hobby. And, before there was TV and radio, people did all kinds of crafts at home. They had to. And I don't know what those are, and that's not what I can talk about. But I can talk about that I needed to do something with my hands and my heart and my eyes. And so I joined a class called Sketchbook Revival, which a friend of mine was in and told me about. And the first thing we did was we had to go to a store, maybe a thrift store, and buy an old book. And I bought this book called The New Wonder Book of Knowledge. It's just a funky book that I found in a thrift store. And this lady online taught us how to bind it. And so I took some cards that I had received from my nieces and nephews and maybe friends, and I bound them into a book. And so if I want to look at these cards, I have a book. And I just love this pattern right here. That's so cute. So I'll pass it around if you want. And then I started painting, and believe me, all my life, I thought, I can't draw. And I don't think I'm good at drawing, but I just worked at it. And I found out that if you want to draw, you can teach yourself to draw if you want it badly enough. And I just started painting, and I love color, and I love landscapes. So I painted this landscape from a photo. I must admit, I fell in love with my own work. And believe me, I still feel like I really can't draw very well, but I learned a little bit about perspective. When I was 10, I had an art class, and a teacher taught me how to draw a horizon line, mountains, and a road to show perspective. And so, also, I have a saying that I found, well, that maybe I made up, I don't know. It says, when I'm stuck on the couch, take one step toward the good. Can anyone relate to being stuck on a couch? God, help us from being stuck on a couch. Take one step toward the good. So this shows a little rabbit with paintbrushes in her hand. And so there, I'll pass this around too. What the heck? All right, so I must say that since COVID's mostly over, I don't do any of this anymore. But I'm more into singing and watching TV. But I get off of the couch and I move. And so that saves me. So thank you.
Thank you. Some of us didn't realize you did that. And that binding of a book is very creative and a very good idea. Yes, and beautiful art. It's amazing what she learned how to do in just a little short amount of time. And now we are going to welcome up Molly Bowling, who, first of all, let me tell you that she has been donating her quilts to Communitas for years for our auctions and our live auctions. And they've been beautiful. I have one. I mean, my granddaughter has one. I mean, I think many folks are blessed. Susan has one. So many of us have one, which we're really happy for. They're all different. And so I was really wondering what inspires Molly and how she comes up with all these different ideas. And so she's going to share a little bit with us. Welcome.
Not really. Well, I can't draw either, so. Oh, I can't. Not like this. Oh, okay. Oh, all right.
I'm sorry.
All right.
I'm sorry.
Never done this. I can't draw either, so I just steal all of my designs. I get them there are quilt magazines and quilt books, and I have a few, or just a Christmas card, and there'll be an image on it that I like, I think I can use on a quilt. A calendar, a little picture in a magazine. And of course, with the internet, you can just Google things. So you can Google patterns, Christmas quilt patterns or something. You get a zillion designs from people on Pinterest and just, take what you want. But I also like doing quilts with animal images in there. So I will just Google horse silhouette. And you just get dozens of horse silhouettes. You pick out what you want, and then I just put up a piece, take a piece of graph paper, trace it off the screen of my computer, and then I've got some big graph paper at home where the blocks are 1 inch by 1 inch, so I can scale up something that's small into really whatever size. You can make graph paper whatever dimensions you want, and then you have your horse. So here's a horse that, someone else designed oh, okay. You can also, for embroidered quilts, you can get these books that are, but good, I do need a helper. They're iron-on transfer patterns. Why don't you open up a page in there. This one is Peter Rabbit. And so there are all these Beatrix Potter images from her books of Peter Rabbit, Squirrel Nutkin, there's some frog she did, and you just pick off what you want. You iron them. You iron them onto a piece of white or light-colored cloth, and then just follow the lines, with your own embroidery thread. And Janet asked me to talk about how I learned to make quilts. My mother taught me and my older sister how to sew when we were quite little. And she taught us how to embroider. I was about 9, and my sister, was a year and a half ahead of me. So she taught us cross stitch, all the other different stitches. So by the time we went to 7th grade, where sewing was mandatory in Maryland in 7th grade, we knew a lot already. But when my sister, I think, was 16 and I was 14, my sister bought a kit of a quilt top, a single bed quilt top that was cross-stitched, the whole thing cross-stitched. And my mother was so annoyed. She said, "You will never finish it. It's a waste of money." But my sister had used her own allowance money, So she set us up. It came with, the pattern was all printed all across the top. 2 colors of blue thread for the flowers, 2 colors of green thread for the leaves, all cross-stitched. And Mom, of course, gave us all of her embroidery hoops, and we would do it in the summer, and because we were so bored in the summer, and when we could, school vacations. And I think we worked on it for 2 summers. Mom helped us. I think we might have had to buy the batting, I don't know, or the back. She showed us how to baste it, bought us the first quilt hoop we had, which I still have, which is about it's wooden, about that big. And we quilted it, and my sister took it to college when she was 18 and used it for 4 years. And Mom and Dad went up to get her, and this was in Maine, drive her back to Maryland. And Mom said the quilt was so dirty she had to take it to a dry cleaner to have it professionally cleaned. So anyway, that's how I learned to sew. Oh, and then I worked as a library assistant for years at UCLA, and they still had a lot of home ec books in the stacks. I'd go up there on my lunch hour. The home ec department or major had been transferred to UC Riverside at some point, so they didn't buy any more stuff. But there were all books about quilting, cooking, making gloves, just everything. So then I thought I brought a few tops or quilts here. Some are finished and some are in the process, just so you could sort of see. Okay, great. Let's see. Here's one in process that I haven't quilted yet. I've basted it, but I haven't quilted it. Early Jim, why don't you come up and help also, get on the other side. Maybe 2 sides. I forget what this one is even. What's this one? It probably has an up and a down, a top and a bottom. Oh, this one's embroidered. So this was from a book, a book that had flower patterns that I ironed on and embroidered, but I haven't quilted it yet or bound the edges. So that's. Here's another one that's. I don't know what this is. Under construction, in the same situation. I've done the top, basted it together with the back and the batting, but I haven't quilted it. What is this? Oh, this is just a scrap quilt. Of course, I just have tons. I start out with big pieces. I have the scraps from that. They get smaller and smaller, and I'm always desperate to just get rid of small pieces. So this is really not any pattern at all. It's just a scrap, But cheerful. Well, I never know. Each one, I'm sure, takes more than a month. The embroidery, I can work for months on those embroideries, but I'm always making 2 or 3 at the same time, sometimes 4. I'm quilting one, I'm appliquing one, I'm embroidering little squares, so I never really know. Let's see, what's this? Oh, this is just, I acquired this heart somehow. I didn't make the heart. It just was a piece of cloth. So I just put borders around it. That's all. But, it's kind of sweet. I also give these. Gina Frazier here has a family Christmas party every year in December. And I usually have at least 3 to give to her for the kids. Oh, this is cats. So this is another. I don't know. I got the little picture of this cat with a bow from somewhere and cut it out. So just cats. Well, you sure, or you can just have. You want it? Do you need it? Do you have a baby? I mean, I. Oh well, that's not good enough. It has to be a baby or a Well, you could. You could. Okay. I usually don't sell them. I never make money from these. I just give them all away. You could if you wanted. Well, I give them to like the church or the school where he used to teach. They have a big fiesta. People just either sell them or have them as door prizes or something. What's this? Oh, this is just. That's just a piece of printed fabric I found in the alley that somebody was throwing out. And I just kept it around for a while until I could figure out what to do. And I didn't really do anything except put borders around it. But it's just so striking. Right. So, man, that's it. That's all I brought. But thank you. Yeah, by by hand. I mean, I don't have the right equipment, so I just.
So,
That's why it takes so long.
just all by yourself with a big frame?
Well, I have a hoop, I don't have a frame. Oh, yeah. I don't have a big wooden frame. You know, when I was like 30 or, I don't know, Dad once mentioned he came from Alabama, and he loved to talk about his old house and everything. And he said, oh, in the hall, we had this trunk. That's where my mother kept material for quilts. I said, your mother made quilts, Daddy? Because she was dead before he got married. Yeah, well, yes, he said. We didn't have the money to buy blankets. Of course she made quilts. So she had a frame, you know, out on the porch that was lifted up to the ceiling of the porch, and it could be lowered down so that ladies could come over and several ladies could sit around a frame. But, you know, I don't have that situation. So I have two hoops, one's oval and one is round, and you just put it in the middle of the quilt and put it on your lap or sit down and put it, you know, tilt the other side up onto a table or something. So you have one hand under and one hand on the top of it. So that's how I do it.
Thank you. Thank you, Molly. Yes, so this is a time to celebrate and to build community, and so we're doing some of that as well. This is a big community time and a big festival of bringing out your gifts and your talents and your skills. So that's why we're celebrating this at this morning, and you'll be able to share some of that during community sharing in just a moment after we have a song from Louise. We'll have a sharing of anything that this has sparked in you. You can ask a question to Molly or Louise, or you can share what it is that you find abundance in your life right now. There's a lot of things that are taking from us right now. So that's why we want to celebrate our abundance, because even in the midst of all the turmoil and the chaos in the world, we have abundance and we have sustenance, something that's keeping us going. So that's what we're talking about this morning.
Well, this is a song. Does anybody remember Ken Kai's? He wrote the Handbook of Higher Consciousness. In the 60s, almost everybody had that book that I knew. Anyway, this song comes from that community, and it's called Thank You for My Life. We're talking about gratitude today, and there's a lot of things in this song that you might find funny to be grateful for, but they say be grateful for what you have and things will get bigger. But some of these I would rather not get bigger, but you shall see. And there's a part you can sing. It goes, thank you for my life. Thank you for my life. Each precious day is a gift to me. I can hardly believe the beauty I see. Try that. Thank you for my life. Thank you for my life. Each precious day is a gift to me. I can hardly believe the beauty I see. Thank you for my suffering, for the wholeness that it brings, for the trees in spring. Thank you for their budding and flowering. Thank you for my frustration, my succumbing to temptation, for my growth and the lack thereof that lets me know I'm made of love. Thank you for my life. Thank you for my life. Each precious day is a gift to me. I can hardly believe the beauty I see. Thank you. Let's see. Thank you for my range of feelings, for the unexpected healings, for the process of growth, for love and hate. I need them both. for the lessons unending, for the process of surrendering, for boredom and waiting to be free. Thank you for creating this for me. Thank you for my life. Thank you for my life. Each precious day is a gift to me. I can hardly believe the beauty I see. Thank you for my life. Thank you for my life. Thank you for my life. Each precious day is a gift to me. I can hardly believe the beauty I see. I can hardly believe the beauty I see.
I can hardly believe the beauty I see when I look around the room. The beautiful. You're all so beautiful. So this is a time of community sharing, which means that you get a chance to speak. You can speak briefly. It doesn't mean everybody gets 20 minutes. But a brief sharing, a comment or a question. And if you want somewhere to start, I think we will start with if there was anybody else who brought a craft or something that they wanted to share, that they're prepared to share. If there was somebody. Okay, if there isn't, we'll just open it up to whoever. Janet, I have a craft. Oh, you do? Come on up. Chris Chappell.
Okay, I did textile art in high school, and I won something once. And but I spilled chai on these salwas, as they're called. So I decided I'm just going to chai them up a little bit. So it's very subtle, but these are pants that I had crafted in India for the purpose of easy movement. And the other thing that I wanted to just share, because it's all sort of related, is I just ran out to see the Hare Krishna parade, and I suggest that we incorporate that into service because it's perfectly timed. And it happens every first Sunday of August. And today is the celebration of the Jagannath. And if you recall, this was one of the great festivals that the Christians flogged the Hindus with, because chariots are pulled through the streets of Puri, and people in their devotion would be swarmed, and people would die. And the Christians said, look how stupid those people are. Okay, so, but that tradition carries on here. Every summer, and one of my former students was pulling one of the chariots, so I was glad I got to show up for that person. And then the third thing that I wanted to share was the craft of social justice. And there was testimony given in Congress this week against religious activism, lambasting Loyola Marymount University on the floor of Congress, lambasting the American Friends Service Committee, and criticizing all people. How dare you think that you should have a say in the way people invest their money? So I'm hoping that there will be an outcry from people of faith from all over the world against this assault on conscience. So.
Thank you. Yeah.
One of the things I've noticed, and if it can't be answered, so be it, but I'm noticing the fruit, and in looking at it, it brings to mind the upcoming holiday of Hanukkah. And in that sense, I am also reminded of Kwanzaa, because Kwanzaa means first fruit. And so I'm wondering specifically, as we exit out of the summer and into the fall. Because fruit has a definite relationship in Kwanzaa. Does the fruit have anything to do with this particular celebration and or day?
Well, it's actually the harvest of not only fruit, but vegetables and grain. And actually, the Celtics on the first, this day, would celebrate, they bring their bread to be blessed at the church. And so you don't make bread until this day. I mean, the grains were harvested on this day. So you bring your bread, and then the priest would bless the bread. It's about harvest, and so harvesting all of that. Yeah, there's a lot of overlap in many of these different traditions, and that's what's great. One great thing about the church in Ocean Park is we get to celebrate them over and over again all through the year, because then we have different religious traditions that celebrated at different times for different reasons. But there was a blessing that happened in relation to this seasonal day. Yeah.
I think it's interesting that we're celebrating this today because for some reason personally, this idea of gift, like what is a gift, what gifts can a person bring to their community, has been on my mind a lot. And I'm realizing, especially in the last month, most notably, the gift that a challenge brings when something is excruciatingly painful to experience or go through or think about, like what a gift that can actually be. And I think I tend to forget that, but when I can remember it, I end up learning so much from it, and that's something I'm very grateful for. So, thanks.
Yes.
Well, I'm not a terrific artist, but I like to draw. I like to draw little cartoony kind of things when I'm teaching kids and make little pictures of things. But I like to make my own cards. So I don't buy cards anymore because they're like $7 or $8, for goodness sakes. I guess if you go to the dollar store, you can get something. But people love handmade cards. It does not matter what they look like. You can cut up old cards and use the pictures. You can use little things in back of that to raise the picture up. You can do all sorts of things. You can make designs. You can look on Pinterest, like Molly was saying, and find a design and copy it. But people love handmade cards. I should have brought a couple of them. I brought something else today, so you'll hear from me later. But maybe I'll bring it sometime. But there's a wonderful type of a card that's really easy to make. You take an 8.5 by 11 piece of construction paper, and you fold it in an accordion way like that. Depending on the number of letters in the person's name, then, gosh, I wish I had brought it. On every other panel, you put the letters of the person's name. So like G-A-R-Y is on 1, 3, 5, and 7. And then in between that, it's happy birthday, anything you want to write. And when you stand it up on a table this way, you can see the name. But if you just tilt it, you can see happy birthday. So it's really easy to do, and I'll bring it to church next week. But the other thing I wanted to say is that another type of a crafty kind of a thing is how to play with children with drawing. We went to see Inside Out 2 yesterday with the grandkids, and afterwards we went to lunch. They were totally hopped up on candy from being in the movie. They were hungry and they were tired. and their parents were like, oh, please behave. So I said, oh, let's play that game of drawing pictures. So what you do is you always have a piece of paper in your pocket or in your purse, and you have 2 colors of pens or pencils. One person draws a little design. It could be a spiral or an angle or just a line or a squiggly line. The other person takes it and has to make a drawing out of it. Now, this is older children. This is not a 2 or a 3-year-old, but we have a 5 and an 8. And So, I put a little angle, and one of them said, this is Ennui, the character from the movie with the long nose, that kind of thing. It was really fun. They were very creative, and they were totally involved until they crashed after they had their pancakes with syrup. So it's a really fun game even for adults if you find somebody else who likes to play a game.
And some of you know Tuesdays at 2, she curates, and one time there was somebody teaching cartoon, and I realized I made a cartoon that I thought was really good. I don't always think that I can draw.
Thank you. Just on the first note, the Chariot Festival does continue down by Venice Beach and Venice Boulevard today until at least about 5 o'clock. Also, I'm thinking especially for this group, there is a Labor Day Union Rally parade and free lunch in the park in Wilmington every Labor Day and September 5th this year. And they have booths too. And then the last thing is anybody can learn any type of art. It might not be something that's going to put you on a stage or put you in a history book, but anybody can learn all of the fundamentals of music or art enough to do it. So, thank you very much.
When I saw Molly's quilts, it reminded me of my dad's mom. She had these friends that she's been friends with a long time that were teachers too. I think they went church or something. They would make macrame art, and over the years, she would sort of give that as a Christmas gift to us, and just reminded me of that.
Yeah, I have to say that I have seen, well, Molly and I first saw the Krishna parade when we moved into 44 Navy Street in 1974, and that's, of course, when I discovered the church as well. At that time, they were doing it down Oceanfront Walk with elephants. So they had to change that eventually, but that, it was like we were looking down there, and it was like, what? Where did we just move to? And that was amazing. But the other thing was, Molly doesn't make it here that often. There are reasons for that. No, don't take it personally. She's got her reasons. But it's she does have to. She shows up every once in a while. Just she's legendary. And people need to know that she's not a mythical creature. She really does exist. I have to take her various places that I talk about her, so that people will know. Oh, she's real. Okay. And for me, even, it was like we were singing, in the singing group before church, and out of the corner of my eye, I would catch, I'd say, who's that attractive woman over there? I haven't seen her here. Oh, it's Molly. Oh, okay. I should welcome her. I should get it's Molly. Okay, anyway, but that's, yeah.
I also have a spouse that I sometimes bring places to show people. There was a person named Cynthia Rose who is a part of Human Relation Council, and she's also the leader of a Spoke Santa Monica, which is a bicycle advocacy group. But anyway, she gave me these to share. Some of these are marigold seeds, and some of them are nasturtiums. And nasturtiums, and you could take one if you want. Nasturtiums, you put in the water for 24 hours first before you plant them, and then they do much better, but not for the other ones. And so it just reminded me that we're kind of like that. Some of us need a lot of water. Some of us need a lot of nurturing. Some of us need some time, before we're actually going to bloom. And some of those, we don't know what color these are going to be exactly. So the same thing with us. Somebody might nurture and then they come out, that's not what I wanted. Maybe that's what our parents think or something, whatever it is. But at any rate, these need tending, and all you need to do is put them in soil about a 1/4 inch deep. But for the nasturtiums, you need to soak them for a day. That's what she told me. This is a time of self-reflection, and some of planting is about waiting and about nurturing and about tending. And this is a time about tending ourselves, tending our own spirits, preparing for the fall. So it's between things. It's a time to reassess. It's a time to look back and say, I really did enjoy drawing, or I did enjoy painting. Maybe I'll do it again. Or maybe I'll try that book, make a book out of all the beautiful cards that people have sent me. Where are they? They're in some drawer. But I could put them in a book and have them to look at. So this is a time to reassess those kind of things, but also to realize the abundance that we have. Because we've been talking a lot in this church everywhere. We go about the tragedy that's happening in the country and by virtue of our country, other countries, and some on their own. So there's a lot of tragedy happening out there, but we also have a lot of abundance. And it's in community that we have abundance, but it's also in our fruit and in our vegetables and in the food and in where we live, and those kind of things. So, and the fact that we do get to be creative, and how incredible that is when you make something. You actually make something that's beautiful, even if it's just beautiful to you, or it's somebody else. So, anyway, this is a time to give that some thought, and we'll have a moment of silence, and then it'll be broken with a song.
Thank you, Mother Earth. Thank you, Sister Water. Thank you for my birth. Thank you from your daughter. Thank you, Father, Son. Thank you, wind and ocean. Thank you, everyone. Earth, air, fire, and ocean. Thank you, Mother Earth. Thank you, Sister Water. Thank you for my birth. Thank you from your daughter. Thank you, Father, Son. Thank you, wind and motion. Thank you, everyone. Earth, air, sky, and ocean. Thank you, Mother Earth. Thank you, Sister Water. Thank you for my birth. Thank you from your daughter. Thank you, Father, Son. Thank you, wind and motion. Thank you, everyone. Earth, air, sky, and ocean. Thank you, everyone. Earth, air, sky, and ocean.
Good morning. Morning. I'm doing bread too, so I was a little confused. I wasn't looking at the order of things, so I didn't know which one I was going to do first. But this is the ask, and since this is here, I usually just say we've got this bucket and baskets to where you can contribute to support the church, to keep this going. But also, there are these other ways. In case you're like into technology, you can text to this number and give. You can go on our website, give money that way. You can actually, when you do that, set up a recurring donation. So it's like your coffee in the morning. You know, you could do it every day, or you could do it once a month, whatever. Or you can write a check. But oh, and you can scan this if you would like. I'll set it here. It's not quite as attractive as all the fruit, but so the bucket is for your change, and the basket is for folding money or checks. Thank you very much.
Everything she touches, and everything she touches changes. She changes everything she touches, and everything she touches changes. We are changers. Everything we touch can change. We are changers. Everything we touch can change. She changes everything she touches, and everything she touches changes. She changes everything she touches, and everything she touches changes. We are changers. Everything we touch can change. We are changers. Everything we touch can change. She changes everything she touches, and everything she touches changes. She changes everything she touches, and everything she touches changes. Everything she touches changes. Everything she touches changes.
Yes, we have communion today, and we meet for communion over in that room now. So we are lucky because we have somebody to do bread today. Craig is going to do bread. Bread, for those of you who haven't been here for a while, is anybody signs up, and I think the sign-up sheet has actually been going around. And what that means is you get to speak from your heart, but the caveat is you have to give us some bread. As long as you give us bread, you can speak from your heart. So you can take a hunk of bread and pass it along, or you don't need to take bread, but it's offered. Craig Hamilton.
Thank you. So I think most of you know that I'm an architect. I work on higher education buildings, but I was thinking about this because the last 2 Fridays I attended a conference sponsored by the local chapter of the American Institute of Architects on housing. It's called Design for Dignity, and it had people. It was kind of optimistic to see the range of people and agencies working on issues of housing and homelessness, from preventing people to providing housing to working at the legislative level. And I kind of thought that I wanted to talk about that a little bit because I learned a lot in it. There continue to be housing measures on the state ballot. All of us see it around here. How many people like the mid and high-rise buildings going up in Santa Monica? See, nobody raised their hand, but it is one part of many pieces. It's sort of, we got into this mess of unaffordability and homelessness. It's kind of death by 1,000 cuts, and we need like 1,000 Band-Aids to put it back together. And some of the things that I learned that are interesting, and this even goes to some of the CRJ issues, is that the United States and the West and LA in particular grew and was able to provide affordable housing because they had huge swaths of relatively flat open land like the San Fernando Valley. But at the same time, those were all zoned R1, means residential 1 unit, which, as many of you know, came about as a way to enforce segregation, to keep black and brown people out of having that piece of the American dream. So there's roots in this, sort of wonderful suburban life that are very racist and need to be changed. There's a measure that passed a couple of years ago, SB 9, that allows up to 6 units on a single family lot through a combination of things. And that has, I think, created 80 or 100,000 additional units of housing throughout California. It's not the whole solution. There's a need in California just for low income, about 1.2 million units of housing for low and moderate income people. I mean, and you see more and more people who are retirees, have medical emergencies, they're working, they fall into homelessness. There are initiatives in LA that are doing a lot to counter it, but it's kind of an uphill slog, and there's a lot of different opportunities and measures. And one of the things that I wanted to mention, and I think, Chris, you touched on it a bit, that I hadn't realized is housing has become a thing that people invest in. And there are, private equity firms that are buying single-family homes. They fix them up, but it drives up the price. One of the interesting things is pension funds that support people like teachers and firefighters, because they have greater obligations, are looking for higher returns on their investment than they might have historically. And they are investing in funds that actually buy up the very housing their people live in now. They buy it up, and once you fix it up, it raises the cost. It becomes nicer, but you're pushing out the very people who are probably contributing to the pension fund. So what I was made aware of is this is an incredibly complicated problem. I work in higher ed, but there approximately 50% of community college students are housing burdened or housing challenged or housing insecure. So this problem is huge, and maybe just to leave this, the message I came from in listening to essentially more than a full day of speakers across a range of things is there are a lot of people working on this issue, trying to address it. And all of those little pieces together, it's fairly encouraging that we didn't get into this mess overnight. We're probably not going to get out of it overnight, but that there are things that are happening that made me sort of happy to try to be part of the solution and not the problem.
Okay. All right, we're going to say together, carry on. We're going to raise our hands up, and one of the things we're going to do this coming week is carry on, right? 1, 2, 3. Carry on!
Carry on!